bad.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books N Betches.
Fucking ruined
Not
it.
to be confused with Books and.
Right, oh, hi.
Bitches. Not to be confused with Books and Bitches.
I'm Kristin, and with me I have...
What was the lady's name in Greece?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Erica.
And Maria.
It wasn't
I was trying
Erica.
to think of one.
If you're watching us on YouTube, that's Books. Look up Books N Betches. We don't really have like a unique... You just look up Books N Betches.
Yeah, it's just Books N
It'll come
Betches.
It comes up. Everything comes up.
Okay, yeah, look it up. You'll find us
We
on
have to
video.
work on our
And you'll
SEO.
see the fact that I have an instrument.
We still don't know what it is.
We didn't do that. We were supposed to post that.
I know.
This week we're talking about what are we talking about?
A Court of Silver Flames.
No.
Yes, we're back in Akatar land.
No.
You ready?
No.
You pumped?
No.
This is the long-awaited Nessian storyline. Nesta and Cassian.
Nessian.
Big Dick Cassian.
Big Dick Cassian.
Yo, Erica was looking down the whole time and you said Big Dick Cassian and she fucking snapped up.
That's because my boy.
She likes Nesta. She likes Cassian.
Cassian is... Okay, so if Reese is like the end-all be-all, Cassian's daddy. Like...
I don't like that you say daddy. I don't.
This is a spoiler podcast. We're gonna spoil, we swear, and we talk about sex. If you haven't listened to our Aquatar episode, we did an entire 3 hour,
Nah, it was like 2 hours.
7 hour podcast.
It was like a 2 hour and change. It's our most listened to podcast.
which is insane to me.
by...
Seriously?
I think it has 2,300 listens.
That's insane to me.
Oh my God,
I
friends.
appreciate it, but that's insane.
Fucking insane.
But awesome.
The longest episode has the most listens?
Yes.
Don't get
far.
any ideas because I'm not doing this shit more
by
than an hour.
by 1,000 like listens. I think our other one is like
I'm so happy.
Hunger Games, and I think that one has like 1,200.
Well, listen, it's
That's 'cause of our first
it's
one.
an anomaly. It's not something that's gonna happen every time we do.
I mean, I know, but I'm very happy.
it's very, very cool that you guys
Yes.
listen.
it's amazing.
listen to 2 hours of us like fucking talking about
Fucking
nothing.
thank
Dude,
you.
especially back then too, because well, no, that one was a pretty detailed. Like we went in,
Yeah.
but our earlier episodes are kind of chaotic.
But either way, if you haven't listened to that one yet, I highly suggest going back, listening to our Akatar episode, because this book is
Happens
the
after it.
long-awaited follow-up. Is that the word?
I guess, yeah, long-awaited companion.
Companion novel to Aquatar, coming from Nesta's point of view, my
Nesta
least
and Cassian.
least favorite sister of all time.
Do you want me to do the 1 minute?
First,
you
what's the
should do it.
genre? Are we moving this up to adult? We're past
it's
YA.
adult
This
now.
is adult
it's
fantasy.
adult now. It's classified
People
as
say the
adult.
F word. There's middle
They
fingers
said that,
being...
they said that in the
Wait,
first books.
She doesn't say vulgar gestures.
She
No
doesn't.
vulgar gestures.
She doesn't. I went the entire book waiting for it.
I'm
just
officially-
waiting for them to say a vulgar gesture,
I'm
and they did not.
Officially a Sarah J. Maas fan. She listened. She took the advice. She went out there and she flipped people off. Let's
With
go.
a vulgar gesture.
Let's go.
We're here for it.
I love it.
I'm here for it.
Love it. All right. Who wants to do 60 second? Erica.
I'm gonna do it.
Because this is her book.
Okay, and honestly, so I read the first 3. I'm not gonna name them all because I don't remember, but I read the first 3, so I know like the main story, but I have not read this because I have zero interest in Nesta.
it, yeah.
So this is gonna be brand new to me, so I'll let you know how you do on the 60 second, and what I
Ooh,
say.
she's real judging now.
What I say matters. So.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
facial expression.
So after you.
That was a beautiful
What I
facial
say
expression.
matters. It matters.
Should I
in
start?
some fucking
I'm
world.
doing it. I'm
All
doing
right,
it because
good,
your
good,
phone
good,
needs to
good,
keep your phone
Okay.
eye on your phone for our food.
Oh,
True,
okay.
true, our food's coming.
All right, you ready?
Yep, I'm here.
In a 3, a 2.
We have the most hated character of all time. Going into her own book, we all know that she is mated with Cassian, but nobody wants to say it until the end of the fucking book.
Oh yeah.
And you just want to pull your eyelashes out the entire 800 pages. And Nesta basically, they kick it off with needing to get like these trove items that literally are supposed to like be like the end all be all, which I don't know why they didn't bring up in the other books.
30 seconds.
I have
and
nothing.
Nesta goes from being an utter disgusting bitch that you couldn't even be around to being barely tolerable. And then we
15 seconds.
kind of go through another incantation of Rhys, like Azrael and Cassian, because she makes like 2 friends on the mountain where they like banished her with Cassian
4.
to learn how to
I'm
fight.
so confused,
And
dude.
yeah,
2,
that's
1.
that's all that
A
fucking
lot of shit
happens.
happens.
First of all, I got nothing out of that. Second of all, I'm more confused now than I was before we started.
I thought I did really good, but I guess not.
Okay,
Big
I-
yikes. As someone who actually read it,
Big yikes! I thought I did so good.
Okay, I read it.
I wasn't even nervous when I was like at the end. I was like, I didn't miss anything.
I got it. I got it.
it all.
you said something about a fucking
Can I
like
try?
on a mountain.
Can I try?
Where did that
They were
come-
on the mountain.
I want to try.
She got banished.
Yeah.
You ready?
Maria,
You ready?
Please.
Okay,
Help me.
we won't even time it real quick. It's just
Help,
gonna.
help,
So Nesta has been an annoying bitch since the end of the war. She's
Yes.
traumatized. She's not
She's
enjoying
got
to be around.
PTSD.
PTSD. She's an alcoholic and a sex addict. Basically, she just fucks everybody on site. So
Which is fine.
Where is she living?
in a
Human-
slum.
in a slum apartment.
Human world?
No, in
Fairy world.
Valeris.
in Valeris.
Oh.
Feyre and Rhysand are like, dude, you've gone too far. We can't. Please, like we have to get you better. Here's what we're gonna do.
Well,
we're
no,
gonna put you.
She started fucking like making Feyre upset by like not coming around for stuff, and they were just like enough's
Feyre was
enough.
pissed at her. Feyre was like, I'm
Yeah.
done with your shit. I'm done letting you slide with
the
this.
last thing
As
that
she
happens is she like is Nesta like she keeps piling up bar tabs and like letting Rhys pay
Oh
for them.
yeah, she puts it all on
She
Rhys's
puts
tab.
all on his tab. So like this
This
last
sounds
bar
so
tab.
different than the other
Yeah,
ones.
it sounds
This
so
last
different.
bar tab just fucking blows it out of the
Out
water,
of the water.
and they are just like, all right,
We're done.
done.
We're not paying for you anymore. It's over. We're putting you up in the House of Wind, right? It's the
Okay.
House of Wind.
House
It's
of
a
Wind.
big ass tower.
They were there.
and
They were
she
there
can't-
previously.
Yeah, I just can't remember the names. House of Wind. It's like this huge ass tower at the top. That's where she's gonna live.
Okay.
It's 10,000 steps to come down. No one's gonna winnow her out. No one's gonna give her. No one's gonna fly her out.
The only people who can winnow in and out are Feyre and Rhys.
Are Feyre and Rhys and
Okay.
more.
Okay.
and more.
So
Why doesn't she just leave and go back to the fucking human world?
they're
or
like,
something?
you can.
You
well,
yeah,
she's
they
Fae.
gave
Still.
that. They
She
gave her
can't
that
go.
option.
She gave her that option, but she's like, you can't. She's like, I can't go back to the human world. I don't belong there anymore. I'm not
Okay.
accepted in that because the humans don't like the Fae.
Okay.
So they're like, if you want to leave, you can. You can leave that house whenever you want, but you gotta go down 10,000 steps. And so she tries in the beginning. She's
So
like, yeah,
her,
fuck
like-
this. I'm gonna go.
Her super like
She's an
worked out
adult,
ass.
though.
Like she's like super out of shape. Cannot go more than like 100 steps, which is
Without
But
killing
like,
herself,
you're an
basically.
adult. Like, go get a different apartment.
Great questions. So at this point now, Cassian is in charge of like basically taking care of her over there, right?
Of course.
And also Cassian's little job is to figure out what's going on with the queens. Remember how Nesta was like, I'm gonna kill these fucking queens for what they did to me, kind of thing.
they were irrelevant.
Yeah, doesn't matter in this book. She doesn't really give a fuck.
Really?
So Xena's here. She's crying a little bit. Ignore her. And so Cassian's perspective is all about trying to figure out the queen thing. He's been tasked by Rhys to sort of work with Aaron. His name is Eris. That's the one.
Eris kind of seems hot.
Okay. That
There's a lot going on in the Instagram like fan art world, and Eris is coming out pretty fucking
Oh
hot.
my god, you can't do that. Just throw a random tidbit while I take a sip of
He's
water.
looking pretty like smoke show,
I almost
and
died.
like
I
at
don't
the
look at
at the
fan
end
art.
of Silver Flames, basically they allude that Moore is a fucking lying bitch, and Eris really actually didn't do what was said that he did.
leaving
So,
her to die.
yeah.
And, yeah.
It's
So-
it's heavily alluded that he is not the jerk
That's
that we all thought he
that's
was.
a
How
side
long
thing.
is this fucking book?
It's so
800 pages.
I feel like we've touched on the first two.
Not even.
So, like, what happens in the middle?
This
So there's
becomes a Karate Kid book. She's learning to do self-defense.
Okay.
Right? Through
which
Cassian.
is fine.
Sure.
Fine.
Sure. But the amount of time we spent on her being like, we did push-ups and sit-ups and my abs hurt, and I was feeling strong afterwards.
What
and
was like the What was like the
So
big...
the
what you didn't
beginning.
touch on was the actual conflict.
Yeah, what's the conflict?
Because it's
That's
stupid.
me, you
So
and
So
me.
the beginning,
question
the
that you always
beginning
ask,
of the
what's
book.
the book about?
Yeah, exactly.
The beginning of the book is literally Feyre being like, you got to get your shit together. Cassian, you're in charge of trying to like get her shit together, because everyone except for Nesta and Cassian are like they're mates.
Cassian knew.
He
just didn't accept
whatever.
it.
Everybody but Nesta was like they're true mates or whatever.
Okay. It's not
so
her
like
fault.
he's slowly trying to like get her to warm up, trying to get her to open up, which I do appreciate. The best part of this book was Cassian. By far. Every scene that he was involved in, whether it was a sex scene, whether it was just like him trying to like warm Nesta up in any degree, he was the highlight of this book and then some.
Okay.
Azrael
said a lot more words than usual.
Whose point of view? It was Nesta's point of view.
No, it was a third
person. First time is third person.
Third person.
I don't know
it was like third person with a perspective, because it switched.
It's so third person, but each chapter would change, or some of them would change to different characters. So perspective through Cassian, but third person. Perspective through Nesta, third person.
That's usually
which is okay. So then so basically she, you know how like the library underneath the House of the Wind.
Yeah.
Remember all those people? As she's like training and like trying to be like not useless. She like makes friends with one of the library people.
Her side job is to work at the library.
Okay.
As like a book.
What are they? They're like nuns
but like,
or
what's
something,
the
right?
point of all this? Is she
No, I'm
training
getting
for
there. I'm
something
getting there.
specific?
We're getting there.
This is how the book is. It takes
It
forever to get
takes
to a
forever
point.
to actually get to what is actually happening. So then she makes friends. Remember the other girl that was like in the mountain and she was Illyrian and her wings were all fucked up and she worked at the shop?
Yes.
She makes friends with her and she makes friends with one of the girls that's like one of the nun type people.
She's not a nun.
What are they?
She is one of the.
She's like Ian.
She's like, yeah, but she's not a nun, because she was brought there as like one of the protective was. I keep forgetting what they actually fucking are.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Her name is Gwen.
Her name's Gwen. The other one's Emery. They become a fucking little girl gang. They all train together. Yada yada yada. Fucking so irrelevant. So then there as a side story, there's this thing called the Trove, which is like these 3 items that are supposed to together. You're basically supposed to be like, you know, end game
and
ruler
like
of the world.
They're like cauldron level badassery items.
Okay.
And so a crown,
that would have easily won the war for them.
The crown makes you raise people from the dead. Right?
So why didn't they want
the mask is what, you know, the mask on the front of the book is what Nesta ends up finding. It's like what does it do?
I don't know. They all do something. It's
but why didn't
so
we talk?
stupid.
Why wasn't this mentioned in the
You
first
ask great questions.
I would like not even a hint. So what they said, Amryn was like, "Oh, well, they're so they're so old and lost that nobody even considers them as a thing anymore."
No, they're so lost that they've been forgotten, and that there's a magic around it that forces people to forget it. But somehow,
in less than a month, they found all of them.
Come on,
right?
And they all are like, "Well, Nesta's the one that could find them because you're a maid and you took something from the cauldron."
So they think she can like find them.
Hint
and
at
she
it.
can.
And she's like, "Well, I don't want to scry." I'm gonna call it scrying.
So she's trying
I don't want
to
to scry again because the first time I scried, I saw the cauldron and it freaked me out. And then it took what's her face?
So there
Elaine.
is a hint of this thing had to happen in order for this thing to happen. Like the whole cauldron thing had to happen in order for them.
So now she's the person that has to find these things.
As long as that exists.
So she has to find these things. Great, she finds them. Like some of those situations.
Why does she have to find them?
Because she's the only one that can find them. She's the only one that can.
And
feel
why
them.
are they looking? The queens are starting.
Oh, the queens are starting an army.
That's what I was missing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The queens are starting. But the thing is,
But it's so irrelevant that it's like it doesn't even feel like a real threat.
The thing is,
I forgot. I literally forgot until you said that.
It's rarely covered.
Really?
So the problem that I have with this book,
but that's like the main,
is that if we, I'm sorry,
is it though? I don't know if it is.
I need to.
It would be the only reason I would want to keep reading.
So the only time we learn about these things with the queen shit is through Cassian's perspective, because he's the one searching for answers and figuring shit out.
Rhys, after what, like 300 years, gives Cassian a promotion and is like, guess what? You have more shit.
And even Cassian's like, this is a lot of pressure on me. Like, I don't know if I want to do this.
He's like, yo,
like,
I don't know.
Why is Rhys relying on me so much?
Again, Cassian being the only bright spot.
Yeah,
like, he's the humor. He's everything.
That thinks shit. That's like, yeah, that makes sense to think that you just got a random ass promotion after a huge ass war, and you've already gone through enough. So, and on top of that, you have to babysit Nesta, who wants to rip everybody's heads off.
So through all of this, like him and Nesta are like finally kind of like getting to like they're finally getting together. They finally like that twig snaps where they finally hook up, and they're kind of like intermittently like hooking up, but sometimes not because Nesta's a bitch, and like they're like going through like the highs and lows of like, are we like regularly hooking up? Are we not?
Are we
like
friends
what
with
is
benefits?
it?
Are we
She's still
exclusive?
living
And
in a
Nesta's
tower. That's
yeah,
They're
they're
both living in the
living
tower.
there. And Nesta draws the line hard and is like, "This is just us fucking."
So do they get out?
So then Cassian's all upset about that.
So part of her tantrums is when she's going through her like her PTSD moments where she's really pissed off. She goes to those stairs. And she's like, I'm gonna fucking get these stairs down.
Yeah, but then once you're
she'll
out,
go
you're
down
like,
1,000. She'll go down
home.
1,000 and can't continue. Goes back.
I wonder what
10,000 up.
10,000 steps actually looks like.
So another thing about that, like the house is also kind of a character in its
It's
way.
like Mario.
So the house apparently loves romance books, and so they bond through romance books. The
house is also a highlight because
It's kinda funny.
and it comes through. So like the house provides you with whatever you need. That's like its gimmick.
The house that she's living in.
Yeah,
is
it's like
10,000
it's
stairs above.
sentient. Like it
Okay.
has it's like
So that you don't starve and.
yeah.
Yeah,
So like
basically,
whatever
it's
you
magical.
need,
It's
it's
magical.
providing it to you.
Okay.
And what I thought was kind of cool how they tied it in is it was like at the end it was like Nesta needed a friend, so the house was her friend. So like
Yeah,
the
Nesta
house
needed
provided like the house provided
The
what
answer
she
to the
needed.
riddle is love.
No, it actually I don't think it was cheesy. I really don't.
It's not that it's cheesy.
Oh man.
Here's we're missing so many things.
I know
And
there's
this
so
is-
much more to this
This is
book.
turning
Is
into
there really?
This is turning more into a rage read kind of thing than it
I
is.
don't. Yeah, I don't want that to happen.
Okay,
but
so
I
let
just-
me just like try
Yeah.
to get us on path here.
Wait, are you gonna tell the rest of the
I was gonna go into the plot. Yeah,
like Feyre's pregnant?
Wait,
you
what?
fucking jumped.
Feyre's pregnant?
You fucking
I
jumped.
thought we don't like
let
this.
me fuck.
That's the rest of the book. Feyre's pregnant. She can't have the baby because the baby has wings.
Hold on. What?
wait.
I thought this was
She's
Nesta's
gonna
story.
die.
I thought this was Nesta's story.
God damn it. So Nesta's having her issues, right? Remember how I said Cassian's like giving us all these outside perspective things?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember this. When it's Nesta's time, it's only about Nesta.
Sure.
Cassian's giving us the outside stuff. We find out like through this thing, through all the interactions with Feyre and Rhys, and like if Rhys has like a protective shield around her, and she's like, it's just because we don't want the same thing to happen in the war, so Rhys is like doing his extra thing with this shield thing.
But she's
Then-
pregnant.
Then it turns
pregnant.
out she's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, oh shit, which brings in the trope that I fucking hate is when our main characters get pregnant too fucking fast.
Yeah.
You're fucking immortal. Wait a while.
Yeah.
Like, don't force the pregnancy on me already.
It's
Yeah.
been like probably 2 years, and Feyre at the end of the book was like, I want to wait a while. A while in immortal times to me would be like
From
100
what-
years.
Yeah.
From what Kate told me is that in Frost and Starlight, it's touched upon.
Yeah.
That because of what they went through in the war, Feyre's like, I don't want to go through that again. We almost all died. I don't
Yeah.
want to wait. We have,
Which is fine.
I get it.
I don't
Do
know why
I
you put
accept
it.
it? No.
I don't know why you made it such a big deal in the other book. If you didn't even mention it, then I wouldn't think of anything of it.
Right.
So like, why was it
her
talked
issue
about?
is, I guess, I'm assuming they consummated when they were in the air. Right? Is that when they
I don't think
they-
it matters.
Anyway, well, she's an Illyrian. So when
Oh, when he was in Illyrian form, that
when
must have
she
been
was in
it.
Illyrian form, because she can
Yeah.
shapeshift. So when Feyre shapeshifted into an Illyrian form with wings and shakes, you know, she can shapeshift and whatever.
Yeah.
They fuck like that.
I guess the baby is now a full-blooded Illyrian because she was like in Illyrian form.
But that's the only reason.
Yeah, so she shifted back, obviously, and it's not safe for you to shift when you're pregnant. So she can't shift back into an Illyrian form without risking like the baby. And they find out the baby has wings, so her body is not built to birth an Illyrian baby. The
Okay,
wings will.
Twilight. Okay.
Yeah, essentially.
essentially,
Which,
and then
like,
so
I
that's
think all
what
of this made sense. I don't
it,
think this
no,
is
it
like.
made, it made total sense. It's fine.
I think it actually like added some drama to a fairly like mundane situation.
But that sounds like it should be their book.
No, because so what ended up happening is, you know, she like they don't tell everybody, and then Rhys is like they don't even tell Feyre that like she's gonna die during this child.
Which
It's
is-
like
which is
it's like
so
100% she's gonna die.
So she went through all that with the war and shit. And
So
now
Rhys
died
is
at the
like
hands of a child.
Rhys is obviously like beyond like consolable.
which
at
is
this
what
point.
kills me the most. It's just when Rhys is sad.
It
when
was
Rhys is
it was so
like literally
sad.
like that's what tells me that this, no judgment on like the writing for Nesta and Cassian. Like I understand the purpose of this book is more so to discuss trauma and how to get through trauma. That's what I think the purpose of this book was with Nesta.
Because there's all these different people
it's more
dealing
of a
with
setup.
the.
It's not.
Right.
It's not to be considered that was the problem that I went into it in the beginning.
Thinking
I
that it was like
I was
Nesta's
mentioning in
story.
stories. I came into it thinking that Nesta was gonna be a badass bitch, go after the queens, and we were gonna have this like
That's what I thought too.
epic
That would've been cool.
fantasy brawl,
And it wasn't.
And it
Well,
wasn't.
is that what it's hinting towards?
I don't.
not
Again, I
really.
think it's my fault. I think I expected
know.
something different than what I got.
I don't know what the next book is going to be because it
We're
depends
all
what
caught
it
up,
is.
right? We're all caught up. This is the last
So
one.
basically,
Okay.
like they want the trove because of the queens. That's like a whole separate situation. So Cassian, Azrael, and Nesta go searching for all the trove stuff. They end up finding, and some of those scenes are actually pretty well done. Like especially the one in the prison.
That
when she's
scene
like
was
battling the guy.
That scene was the only badass scene that I was like,
No,
this
the
is
other
good.
one when she was in the wasteland thing. That
Oh,
was
that
fucking
one was
cool
good, too. Two scenes.
Nesta had two really fucking badass scenes, and if you look up the fan art for it, they're really really cool,
That's
and they
cool.
were very well done. In terms of like Nesta and Cassian as like two partners, like it was really really well done. How they work together, how like during this time they're trying to work out their feelings together too. The groundwork was them like training Nesta and like their sexual, experiences during that. But then now you're in like the epic part of the book where you're going through all these like adventures, and now it's really like life or death. And like I think Nesta at this point is really realizing how much Cassian means to her.
Sure.
And I do think that like in terms of the storyline, like I liked that like we kind of got like her building and rebuilding herself in the beginning, and then like the end was
I think the pacing was all
the
off.
pacing was really really bad.
So here's how
Really?
it felt.
Yeah,
It felt
really
like
bad.
That's a bummer.
especially and I keep saying it's because of the perspectives.
Yeah.
So during Cassian's perspective, I felt like I was getting the answers of the overall plot and conflict.
Yep.
When I got Nesta's perspective, it's only about her psyche and it's only about her healing.
Sure.
But hers
So-
was so much more than his.
Yeah, there's
too.
more of him than her in the book. More than vice versa. More of her than him
Yeah.
in the book.
Okay.
And her parts were the boring parts.
Super boring. So it felt like I was going slow,
And then
heavy with action,
everything's crazy.
yeah.
and then back to slow.
Yeah.
And then at some point, I would say 2/3 through the story, it went from the slow fast
Well, it's like
to
the first book.
everything fucking on fire
Goes crazy.
for the last
that was like the first
200
book
pages
of the
Yeah.
series.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and-
exactly. And to me, the pacing was
very off,
terribly off.
so off.
Terribly off.
And so with
I don't know
this-
what fucking editor read this and was like, yeah, this is good. I don't know.
Here's what I think happened. I think everyone saw that this was coming in as an adult book now.
Yeah.
So that's the classification, and everyone knew we were gonna get some steamy scenes that were
and
explicit.
they were. We got some
We did.
fucking steamy.
I was gonna ask
Explicit
that too,
scenes
yeah.
to the point where I was like, "What am I reading this for?"
Yeah.
The plot felt secondary
Interesting.
to the sex scenes.
So she's taking it
and her
more in the
healing.
erotic.
It felt erotic. Like there was
Yeah.
so many.
What I didn't like, the one thing that I really hated about this book, and I really did like this book, is everything was like there was foreshadowing, and then it happened immediately after.
Yeah,
so it was
there's
like,
yeah.
so like they're walking through the wasteland, and they're like, oh yeah, there's these like kelpie things that many people haven't seen them before, but
And
they're
they haven't
really
seen
bad
them in a long time.
and they'll kill you immediately.
scary.
And then, oh, what do you know? A fucking kelpie pops out,
No,
and you're
or
like,
also like where he's like, it's Cassian and Azrael, and they're like, we're gonna go over here, check real quick. I'm gonna put you in a tree, Nesta. Don't get off the tree. And what does she do?
she gets off the fucking
tree.
tree
Gets off the tree.
immediately.
And it's like,
And
okay,
like,
great.
okay, so then there's another part of this where Nesta, finally, like, they're kind of like Cassian kind of like is like, I want more, blah blah blah, and Nesta feels like she doesn't deserve Cassian. That's what ends up like coming out of all of this is she's like, I don't deserve
I
Cassian.
should have brought the book.
I'm sitting here
Yeah.
being like, so you think you deserve to spend all of Reese's money at any? Because that's what, like, at the beginning of the
Yeah.
book, she's like, I deserve to be able to like
She's
do whatever the fuck
entitled.
I want.
But
So you think you deserve the money, but you don't deserve the boy?
I don't
here's
get
the thing.
that.
Like
Here's the thing.
what?
Also with her healing, right? Right. Cool. I get it. I accept that you need to heal and you have trauma.
But she's been like this since
But
before.
this bitch has been bad since the beginning.
Yeah.
I marked every time we got any backstory on her trauma. There was many.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of her mother being an overbearing.
Oh, did we finally get like answers on why she sucked so
basically
bad?
her mom.
There weren't good answers. But
They weren't good
there.
answers. They were lazy, in my opinion. Her mother was an overbearing psychopath, basically, who treated Nesta differently, put Nesta on a pedestal, tried to basically like get her for society, get her ready.
Okay.
Right. And so she was treated like the princess that has to be always perfect and do things right. And she was always criticized. Feyre wasn't really considered anything by her mother. Like she was just left to the side. Elaine, again, also irrelevant. Like always. Elaine is just irrelevant.
Yeah,
on
was
all
she in
levels.
that book? In the
Yeah,
book?
she was.
Oh.
Also,
Irrelevant.
fucking switcher.
Is she with?
She's a fucking flippy flappity bitch.
Is she with?
That's
Lucian?
a whole
Elaine
different.
was like sort of more bitchy towards Nesta in this book.
Which
and-
was weird.
And she was
It
like
didn't-
all on
it was not
Feyre's side.
authentic.
And even Nesta was like, what are you? So you get to like now just switch over and be on Feyre's side and
I
leave
don't.
me?
I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound so ridiculous because you guys probably don't watch the Kardashians.
Nope.
But like, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like the first like few seasons, the first like portion of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, it was Khloe and Kourtney that were like tag team. They always shat on Kim, like they were just like besties. And then now the latter portion is like
I've heard of this.
Kim and Khloe are besties, and
And
they're always
Kourtney's on the
shorting on.
outskirts. Yeah.
And that it was the exact same scenario where you're like at a different part of your life. Your sister, you resonate with one sister more than another. That's basically what's happening here. Is Elaine is like, Nesta, you've been a bitch for a really long time. Like I'm on Team Feyre right
You
now.
think she would have done that a while ago?
You think, but
Since she's supposed to be like the calm, nice.
So
but I
then-
think like I think again, this comes back to the trauma. I think like all the things that have happened. You know, Elaine's sitting here trying to move on, and Nesta can't.
My favorite line was, and I marked it. I should have freaking brought the book. Basically, Nesta is sort of confronting Elaine about these things and what she's choosing. I think Elena was choosing to help Feyre and Rhys with stuff, and Nesta's like, no, like I don't want you in danger or whatever. And Elaine was like, you are so focused on what happened to me in the cauldron without remembering that it happened to me.
Yeah.
And it's my trauma first before it's
Yeah.
yours.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
was like, fuck, that's the only
Yeah.
good deep line we've had. Nesta's so worried about how the trauma that she's dealt with has happened, but she only focuses on how she feels about that trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm just like,
That's shitty.
again, like I understand the whole purpose of this book being her healing, but at the same time, all these moments of where she's talking about why she is the way she is, I don't think it's worthy enough of like,
I don't.
it's not a good enough reason to be how you were. Like you
It
were a
wasn't.
bitch from the beginning. You're a bitch now, and I know I'm supposed to like you after this. It ain't happening. I'm not liking it.
I did like her more. There was, you know, I don't remember what chapters they were, but like the scene when like they go on the hike, they go on like a hike because she's like all upset. So then
It's
like,
after she tells Feyre that she's gonna die from the pregnancy.
oh yeah.
So no one tells
Nobody
Feyre.
tells
How
nobody
does it-
tells Feyre that she's gonna
so
die.
Again, this is like what 3/4 into the book. By now, I should be liking Nesta, and so no one's telling Feyre that she's gonna die from this pregnancy.
And they get into a fight or something,
And
right?
they get into an altercation, and then Nesta's like, "Well, did they tell you what's gonna happen to you?
that you're gonna die.
Did they tell you you're gonna fucking die from your kid?"
She
And-
said that.
And Feyre's
she tells
like,
Feyre.
"What?" And I sat there. I was like, "You fucking bitch! Like,
That's,
you
like,
have to
unredeemable.
always just hurt somebody instead of just
Yeah.
like."
But it was
How do you even come back
questionable
from
because
that?
it's like, well, how are you not telling fucking Feyre that this is gonna
Right,
happen?
but it's not
not in her
place.
it's
It's not
up
her
to
place.
her. It's like
So-
you constantly leave this family and you're never a part of this family, and yet now you want to act entitled as if you have a say in who tells Feyre what.
That's the problem.
How does this book end?
So basically, they get all of the trove.
This turned into a rage read for me.
they get all the trove. Feyre's on her deathbed trying to birth this baby. She basically dies. She
Wait, really?
She basically, I would say she dies.
She dies,
And
but
Rhys,
Nesta like stops time because she has a trove.
yeah,
She
And
stops
Rhys-
time
and
just at her last breath.
Rhys like fucking loses his mind, and
I
that
was
like
tearing up. I was tearing
it
up.
was very emotional.
So think of like how when Rhys died and Feyre was like
Yeah.
losing her shit. Just make it about Rhys, and
Yeah.
Rhys is literally like he's just broken because it's her last breath, and that's it. He's like and they made a pact. That's another thing. They made a bargain. Feyre and Rhys made a bargain that if one dies, the other dies.
and that's like, so Rhys is gonna die too.
They did the fucking Romeo and Juliet
So they'll
shit.
just leave their fucking.
Yep.
So they'll just leave their kid to fend
No,
for
they made a
itself.
bargain.
No, they made a
So
bargain.
it's like inked on their skins.
So it's a
But what
magical
about their
bargain.
child?
They didn't think
the
about
kid
it back
did-
then.
they didn't think about
they
the
did
kid being
it.
a
They
thing.
did it before the war.
They did it,
Can
but
they
yeah,
take that
they-
back?
Or
Not
something.
before the war.
Or
After,
after the war.
In
Can you
Frost and
take?
Starlight.
Can that?
No.
Can you take that back?
No, it's
But
a magical bargain.
what was the fucking point of that bargain?
So no one has to live without the other.
But listen, if Mike,
it was like a very romantic
it's
like
a,
gesture.
it's a very
if
like,
no, because if Mike said that, I would have been like, why would I want you to die if I died?
You're thinking rationally. This
Yeah,
is an
this is- No, but
irrational love decision.
But that's selfish and
makes,
out of
it
100%.
made sense in the book when you read it.
because
I
that's
didn't read
not
it.
that's not.
I hated it.
That doesn't mean you love the person. If you want them to
Whatever,
not
irrelevant.
live
So
without-
then
That's insane.
Nesta
Yeah.
puts on all the trove items, which I think is hilarious that you have to like wear
Wear
them
them.
all. So she puts on all the fucking trove items, stops time, brings Feyre back, saves
kind
her
of
fucking life.
kind of like talks to the cauldron, being like, "I'll give back.
Oh yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give back what I took. Just save Feyre."
I
Which
hate the
is-
cauldron thing.
Which
I
is
know,
which
I
I
know.
do think was a full circle move for like Nesta to be like, I like
I will submit. I will release. I'll do it. It's fine.
I care about my sister more than I
Finally.
care about myself.
Finally.
I want to talk about Cassian and Nesta. So you get through fucking, I swear to God, 700 pages. This is an 800-page book.
That's insane to me.
They are fully in love with each other, and there's been a lot of moments of them like, I don't want to say expressing that love, but like very clearly like they're in it. And
Aren't they fucking?
Neither of them have said that they're mates.
Oh,
Neither of them.
until that sex scene.
Until like the last sex scene,
No, second to last.
second to last sex scene, she's finally like,
how do they know?
I don't even remember how it
it's like
happens.
this glowing thing happens.
Oh yeah,
And like in the moment, he's like, "Say it." Right, and she doesn't say "you're my mate." She said like "you're mine, I'm yours" kind of thing, and that's when
Yeah.
she's accepting it. But remember, like you have to give them a piece of food or something to make it real.
yeah,
But that's how that happens. So they have this like magical, glowing like sex
and it's like
scene.
dirty sex too.
and
it's
it's
hot.
they're all dirty and gross. But
That's hot.
but that's how they basically figure it out.
Cassian loves to
Do they do the eating
eat
thing?
pussy, and that's the best part.
Here we go.
He does?
Yeah,
He fucking loves
it. He treats her well.
Nice.
That's all I'm gonna say.
It's the best part. Anyways, so
Aside from that,
so I would say 50 pages to the end of the book, they finally admit they're mates.
Did he eat the thing?
I don't know.
I think she gives him food the next day. Like that's a joke. She's like, "Don't I have to give you something of food," kind of thing.
Oh.
But we have to talk about the queen thing and the
So
mouth.
fucking
I know,
stupid.
but it doesn't make sense because it's like it's
There's like 5 storylines
the-
in this book.
Yeah, it's the
It
main
sounds
conflict
like
of the
it.
book, but we have to talk about it. So
We're going backwards.
yes, so before the end of the book, I don't know if you remember, but Azriel, Rhys, and Cassian were 3 people who finished this like the rite, which is called right. It's called the rite.
Yeah, Lyrian, right?
And it's like this. It's the Hunger Games. It's basically the Hunger Games where you have to kill or be killed to reach the top of this mountain, and that's
then
when you become like
Based off of that is where you rank in the army.
yeah. So
Rhys, Cassian, and Azriel are the only 3 that have ever touched
Finished
the
it.
top together.
Weird we didn't see that in the first.
They
They
say
know
it
we
in
did.
backstory.
It's-
They
yeah,
say
it's
it as
backstory.
backstory. So through this, which I think we also have to touch on, is Nesta becomes friends with Gwyn and
Emery.
Emery.
The girl gang.
I want to know what your thoughts on this. How is it that Nesta could be a bitch to everyone,
Except these 2 girls.
but become friends with 2 random ass chicks?
Yeah, what?
idea.
That doesn't make any sense.
So you're telling me you
I
can
mean,
but
she
your
was,
own
she was a
family.
bitch to Gwen at first.
but she wasn't like downright rude like the way she is to her own family.
Bookstagram basically says like Nesta needed to create her own family.
Understood. But why is
Shitty. I thought it was like
I thought
it was lazy writing.
I don't like it. I don't like that.
I don't like the introducing new characters. I feel like there's already way too many fucking characters.
100%.
I do like Gwen because Kristin, Gwen is looking like she might
Azriel's.
be Azriel's mate.
Yeah, I was just me. I know you're checked out. I know. But we're almost there. So
I was tipping our Uber driver.
Oh, good. These 3 now they're the trio.
Yeah.
They're the new besties. They train together. They're trying to be like Valkyries, which is like an old
woman-based warrior.
warriors.
Okay.
And so they are trained to be Valkyries. And so through this, the queen finds a way to get them to be thrown into the rite.
Mm-hmm.
No women are put in rites because they don't think women are, or females, because they're not women. Xena, shush. a female fae,
They're like capable.
they're treated less than
Sure.
as in Illyrian politics,
As women are.
as women are in all politics. So the queen figures out a way to get them kidnapped and put into the right. Once you're in the right, no one can take you out. It's a death offense to take anybody out of the right.
That's just not right.
It's not right. No.
Which is obviously like such a convenient
Little thing.
Yeah.
Not even Reese can get you out, and Reese is the king, or you know, not yet. Anyway, so the girls get put in. Now they have to use their training powers from their karate times to beat this thing, and all these male fae are coming after them and trying to kill them. They basically make it to the top, but Nesta becomes a Spartan, and at this little I don't know how you call it, like a straight kind of thing it's a narrow straight, and she's stopping there to like stop anyone coming for Gwyn and Emery, because Emery I think is hurt or vice versa, and so Emery or Gwyn is carrying the other up the mountain, and Nesta's like, I'm gonna hold the fort. Nesta holds the fort. Queen comes in. Queen's like, ha ha, bitch, I here to kill you, and look who's gonna make you kill you. I'm gonna get Cassian to kill you. I'm controlling him with my trope.
Sarah loves this.
So then Cassian's
Fucking
there
so
also
ridiculous.
has his internal struggle. I don't want to kill her. I love her kind of thing. And because of their love and their mateness thing, he wasn't able to be controlled. And so
Can't hurt your mate.
Can't hurt your mate. But then Nesta fucking kills the queen like it's nothing. That's literally it.
Okay.
Kills the queen like
Which
it's
is
nothing.
Fine. Okay.
We've built
Not
an
a big
800-page
storyline.
book saying that she's going to be our big bad for the day. And you're telling
fine.
me we got rid of her in less than 5
It
pages?
doesn't sound like as much went into this
No.
as it did.
So
It
I
seems
think
like she
my
wrote-
rating's going to go down.
It seems like
honestly.
she wrote this just to appease to the audience.
That's what it
yes
feels like.
Or
yes
appeal
and no. I
instead of
think
appease.
Appease
there
is
was.
fine.
I don't think it was. I think I could have wrote a better book.
I think if it was what did I write
Storyline-wise.
here, I said
Storyline wise.
if it was like
I just have
200 pages shorter, probably.
I have
200
one
pages
question.
shorter,
I have
for
one-
sure.
One question, because I kind of asked it, but I don't think you answered it.
Sorry.
No. Lucian and Elaine.
I don't. So here's the thing with Lucian and Elaine. It doesn't feel like that's gonna continue.
Which is good. I like that. It won't. Because
I hope that's
You think
the.
they're gonna get together?
No, I hope that's
No,
the
I hope it
one
doesn't.
mate
That
thing
doesn't
that
work.
doesn't work.
I would
that
like
gets,
that.
That gets.
I don't
like,
understand Elaine's aversion to him.
Yeah, she's like not with it. She's not for him at all. She doesn't feel an attraction
is she
towards
still
him.
all pissed off because of her ex?
I don't think so.
No, I
It's
think
just
it's. I think she's not
just
comfortable.
Fucking
It
weird.
feels like she's not comfortable
Okay,
with
so
him.
the extra scene at the end of the book is basically Azrael has a gift for Elaine. He has a necklace for her for Christmas, and they almost kiss.
Oh.
And Reese
Reese
finds
comes in.
them and is like, "You're out of your fucking mind. Like
Why?
Lucian is like too important. Like he's still
He's part of
still
this.
part of like the Autumn Court technically.
but it's
like
and he
Fuck
might be the
that.
heir.
he might be the heir of the Autumn
cares?
Court. Like
But
he's
also, I
like,
think
you're
it's
fucking
I think
this up.
it's a respect thing.
Yeah, it's a respect,
It's a respect thing.
Like
as a female,
If she's not
like,
into it, she's not into it. She should be able to date whoever the
So
fuck
that's
she
she
what
wants.
hasn't
Azrael
even
says.
expected it. She hasn't not
Yeah.
accepted. She hasn't yet accepted this mate
Exactly.
thing. Lucian's the one that's been forcing himself into the vicinity
Exactly.
of her.
So I
Right.
think on the back end, I think Azrael kind of like has had like, I think basically Gwen's made his dick move a couple of times, and like I think he's interested.
Yeah,
but
they have moments. They have, like,
they've had a
little
couple
looks.
like moments, and so like he gives the necklace to Elaine, whatever. Then he has this moment with Reese that Reese is all pissed off at him. So he goes and grabs the necklace back. I guess she like
Wow.
puts it back under the tree or something. He was able to take it back. He takes the necklace back, and then he fucking gives it to Gwen.
Wow.
Oh, I don't like that.
So now, like Gwen's
Why
gonna
does-
wear this
Why
fucking
does
necklace.
Gwen get seconds?
So
Yeah.
Gwen's gonna wear this fucking necklace. Elaine's
Elaine's
gonna
gonna see
notice
it.
it and be like,
Well, no, I'm definitely not.
I'm like, Azrael, what the fuck are you doing?
He
Oh,
doesn't get
Azrael.
it.
Oh, sorry, I
He
thought you
doesn't
meant-
get it. He doesn't get
The
it. It's
extra
weird.
scene with Farah and Reese
Yeah,
was
what's that?
nothing but like a cutesy sex scene where
Great.
they're like,
Did
you
we
know,
hear
it's fine.
anything from Tamlin?
Oh no,
No.
no, he's been in beast form
Oh.
since
Yeah.
the thing, and he's like he's useless. He's gone.
No, I would have liked something.
So there are some
There
theories.
might be something with him coming.
There are some theories that Gwen is Tamlin's daughter.
What?
daughter? He's like 12.
No, he's immortal. He's like
Gwen is
hundreds.
Tamlin's daughter.
True.
So basically, like during the calamari, whatever.
Yeah.
Calamari.
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 I like calamari.
I like calamari.
Can we call it that movie?
That's what I kept saying it in my
During
head.
the calamari.
Calamari. That's what it's called.
So like it was hinted in a previous book that like, or no, it was hinted in the beginning that Gwen's mom got pregnant. They were part of the spring court, and her mom got pregnant during that ceremony thing. So they think like that's the big
That's the
fan theory is that Gwen is Tamlin's daughter. So I think Tamlin's gonna die, and she's gonna take over.
And it's gonna be a high lady. I mean, we already have a high lady, so it's
and I
over
think Azrael's gonna probably peace out too. I think things are gonna change. I don't know what the next book is gonna be. I don't give a shit about Amryn and her fucking boy.
No.
But okay, so to kind of wrap this up, I liked it because I did like this book, and it sounded like I didn't. I did like this book. I thought that Nesta was like her internal monologue was just or like that like internal like trying to get better was way too long. But her and Cassian's love story made sense. I liked it. I ended up liking Nesta more. Maria didn't. I felt like, yeah, she didn't have a good enough reason to be a bitch, but at least she didn't end up being the cunt that like
you said, she was
originally
more
started.
tolerable.
She was
but
more tolerable.
I wasn't rooting for her.
I like the unlikable character. I like that we had somebody that like wasn't perfect, that wasn't the Feyre, that wasn't the Elaine,
which is good. I think
like,
that's good to have, but then you have to give someone the redemption, the reasoning.
I think her redemption was Cassian, and I
it wasn't done well enough. I don't think it was done well enough. I think it could have been done more. I'm sorry.
I don't think the book was as. I don't think the book was as. I would have. I have it written as a 4 on Goodreads.
I have it as a 4.
I think I would give it a 3.8.
I would give it a 3. I think I'm gonna change it right now. I'm changing it right now.
Wow, 3. Live in the studio.
So, I don't know. I do like Nesta. I like that she's a bitch. I like that. I just don't always agree with everything that she did.
Fair enough.
Which is
like
fine. That's the point of an unlikable
Yeah.
character. I just wish we didn't have to go through so much to get to the end.
I agree. I don't understand what this whole fucking situation is with immortals not understanding who their mate is. Like, why is that in every book?
I understand with Nesta.
Why does
doesn't-
nobody know who their mate is?
I get it when Nesta doesn't because she's new Fae.
Yeah.
But for Cassian to not know makes no sense.
But for him to not, like, I don't understand why he wasn't like, Nesta, we're mates.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking
because
say it.
I'm sure he was like,
That's been in
I
all
can't
these
tell
books,
Nesta
though.
that though. You can't go to Nesta.
mean,
and say,
why
I'm
did
I would
Nesta.
have been like, bitch, I'm your fucking
Oh, why-
mate.
why didn't it-
Nesta would not take that?
Why didn't it
gives a
more say, hey, I'm into women?
She's not around at all.
Oh,
Moore's not
wait, we
around
didn't
at all.
talk about Moore.
We don't
Oh
have
my
to.
God, in the
We don't
book.
have to.
Oh
We
my
don't have
God.
to. Let's not.
Okay, I
This
don't.
is already going to take so long to edit.
I don't like fucking Moore. I don't like Moore anymore. I don't
More
like
anymore.
More anymore. It was alluded heavily that everything that we know about the situation with Eris and her is completely not true.
We have to wait.
Heavily
till it comes
alluded.
out. By him though.
I'm just saying.
So
Just
wait,
because he's
what's
hot, don't
next?
trust the
Heavily
source.
alluded.
What's the next
I
book?
don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
Nothing was announced.
No.
Nothing was announced.
So we don't even know if any more books
She's
are coming.
finishing Crescent City. That's
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right
So
now.
that's
what's
what
the
she's
going on.
coming
second
out now.
Crescent City.
And
That's
that's
what's coming out.
Is that
And that's
part,
coming out in January.
Is that part of something else, or is it just
Whole
Yeah.
different world.
It's from like Blood and Fire and fucking
From
Flesh or something.
House of Earth and Blood.
Yeah.
okay? Cool.
So that's a whole different series.
Wow. Well, we did it. We
So-
covered all the Sarah J.
I'm
Maas
sorry,
things
everybody.
in the entire
This
universe.
is our Silver Flames episode. Like,
Hopefully,
it-
we're done with
It
ACOTAR for a while.
sounded like we really fucking hated the book, but there was just a lot of problems with it.
I
didn't
liked all
dislike
the
it.
action parts. I liked the part when like she was like
I would
dragged
re-
into the Black Ocean thing. That was cool.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna reread this book,
No, never.
but
I
I
can tell
will.
you-
I will reread chapters of this
I
book.
could
The
tell
sex
you,
scenes.
I'm never gonna read this book.
Some of the action scenes,
Oh yeah,
I will not be reading it.
I know.
I wouldn't.
But I'm happy that you
suggest it.
filled me in. Thank you guys.
that was, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We will be back next week with a different episode that you don't know about yet because we're not going to tell you. Yeah.
And go watch us on YouTube.
YouTube.
Bye.